What's up everyone, and welcome to another YuGiOh Duel video. So for today I will be sharing my deck profile for Chemicritters. So for those of you who do not know, Chemicritters is a Gemini deck that actually revolves around normal summoning a monster twice in order to gain an effect. Henceforth it actually requires to be a monster when it's normal summoned on the field. It is required to be normal summoned twice in order to gain an effect. Henceforth, as you can see, it's treated as a normal monster while face up on the field or in the graveyard. So let's go with the monster lineup first. I'm playing 3 copies of Dark Diox Ogre, with its effect being red, as you can see, banishing a Gemini from graveyard. Target your opponent's monster that they control, monster or spell and trap, as long as a card they control, and destroy it. Now I mentioned banishing Chemicritters is actually useful when in the long run, because you'll actually be using them in the bench pile soon enough. Next is 3 copies of Chemicritter Oxyox. So Oxyox is a level 2 with 2100 defense with 0 attack, but the effect is something that you actually need to watch out for. Because of the effect that you can special summon a Gemini monster from hand. If you do, all Gemini monsters you control become that monster's original level until the end of the turn. Meaning if you were to special summon Chemicritter Diox Ogre, you can actually turn this card into a level 8 as well, along with the next card, Chemicritter High Dragon. It's treated as a normal monster on the field and in the graveyard. When it is normal summon and it gains the effects, when another Gemini monster you control is normal summoned onto the field, that monster gains 500 attack and defense. If a Gemini monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, destroy another card you control instead. So meaning you can destroy a spell or trap that's currently on the field, that way protecting your monster from the card effects, or basically just keeping it there so they wouldn't be destroyed. Next up is I play 1 copy of Carbo Crab. So Carbo Crab's effect is an interesting one, since you actually send a Gemini from your deck to the graveyard while adding a Gemini from your deck to your hand. Henceforth, you're actually building up your graveyard and also replenishing a resource into your hand by a +1. Next up is a Chemicritter Hydron Hawk. So basically, if you were to use Chemicritter Carbo Crab's effect and it stays on the field, you can basically use Hydron Hawk's effect to discard another card, so they can special summon that monster to the field. Which brings me to the next spell card, which is called Supervise. It's an equipped card and it targets Gemini monsters only. So if this card is equipped to a monster, you can basically have it gain its effect. Henceforth, you are safe from normal summoning that monster a second time. And when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, select a normal monster in your graveyard to special summon it onto the field. This card is good because Gemini monsters are treated as normal monsters when they are on the field or in the graveyard. Henceforth, you can basically bring out any monster that you want as long as it is in the graveyard with Supervise. Thank you. Next up is 3 copies of Catalyst Field. So Catalyst Field's effect is you can normal summon high level Gemini monsters without tributes, and that's a pretty sweet deal, I must say. And the second effect is that you gain an additional normal summon, which will actually let your Gemini monsters gain their effects during that turn. And the third effect is basically banishing a face-up Gemini monster with its effect already in play in order to target and destroy a card your opponent controls. For the trap card, Burnout is essential for Chemicritters because you actually banish a face-up Chemicritter in order to special summon 2 other Chemicritters from your deck to the field, but they must be of different names, they cannot be the same name, which is why you can bring out Diox Ogre and High Dragon with 2800 defense and another with 2800 attack points, so you can go into Xyz for Metadrago or keep them on the field until the next turn when you actually normal summon them just for their effects to go off. Next, I play up 2 copies of Gemini Counter to negate spells and traps by setting 1 Gemini monster into face down position. Oh yeah, for Burnout, the second effect is that if you were to have a direct attack by your opponent onto you, you can basically banish this card and bring back a banished Gemini monster back onto the field with its effect being intact. So next up is the MVP of the deck, aka the boss monster, Chemicritter Mephidrago. So Mephidrago requires 2 level 8 Gemini monsters and this card Xyz summon, you can special summon a Gemini monster from your graveyard. Not to mention your opponent cannot target other Gemini monsters that you control with card effects or by battle, meaning it is a 3k tank wall on its own. Not to mention even if you were to have a low attack Gemini monster right on the field, they are safe from being attack targets or being targeted by effects. Next up is the third effect for Mephidrigo. You can essentially detach a material when a Gemini monster is normal summoned onto the field. Your opponent sends a card from either their hand or their field to the graveyard. Just like that. Not to mention with Catalyst Field giving you the option of normal summoning monsters twice, you can essentially have Mephidrigo on the field and normal summon any of these monsters and normal summon again, so that it will get rid of its own Xyz material, so that your opponent will have to get rid of cards from their hand and field if they want to. It all depends on what your opponent has on the field or in their hand. And if they have no hand cards, then they have to get rid of cards from the field. Not to mention, if Mephidrigo is already on the field and you have Direct Ogre and Catalyst Field, normal summon Direct Ogre, trigger this Mephidrigo's effect, and then normal summon it again with Catalyst Field, so it will gain the effect, its own individual effect, then activate Mephidrigo's skill once more. Not to mention, if you have Direct Ogre's effect being in play, you can once per turn banish a Gemini from your graveyard, since you already have a monster in your graveyard thanks to detaching Mephidrigo's Xyz material. You can essentially destroy a card your opponent controls. And if you are feeling a bit extra, you want to eradicate the field completely, you can use Catalyst Field's third effect of banishing the Direct Ogre and then destroy another card your opponent controls. Henceforth, you are clearing monsters from, you are essentially clearing cards from your opponent's hands and also their field once your combo is played correctly. And if you were to have something like Burnout available, or you have another Chemicritter that's on standby, after your monsters have attacked, you want to gain another additional attack, you can use Burnout's effect of banishing that Gemini Chemicritter monster to bring out two others back onto the field to do a final attack on your opponent. So that's pretty much it for my deck profile for Chemicritters. I hope you guys enjoyed and find that this deck is interesting to play. And if you want to play this deck, you can copy what the cards I'm actually using, and then if you want to get rid of either Carbo Crab or maybe Hydron Hawk, you can get rid of them as well, because I'm currently using them as an emergency just in case situations where I have monsters in a graveyard and I need Hydron's Hawk effect to go off. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you do well in the KC Cup, and I'll see you next time in the next video. Goodbye.